We're looking at how we are focusing on how to balance off an account and the trial balance and how to extract your trial balance. So these are the two concepts we want to look at. Previously, we have seen the transactions and how to record the transactions. And I want to believe so far so good. However, if you have any questions regarding the previous discussions, feel free to share so that we sort it out. Balancing of an account. Okay. So if you look at the account I have here, which is cash account, you see a lot of figures, some debited, some credited, right? It becomes necessary for us to summarize these plenty entries in the account into a single amount, right? And we can only do that through balancing of the account. So when we talk of balancing of an account, it can be referred to as the process of determining the balance on account at regular intervals to extract a trial balance. Okay. A balance is the net difference between the debits and credits on an account. There are two main balances, namely debit balance and credit balance. A debit balance is one on an account when the debit side is greater than the credit side. And a credit balance is a balance on an account when the credit side is more than the debit side. So professors, making meaning of what I just read. As you see this account, we have this side, which is the credit side, and this side, which is the debit side, right? So if we talk of a balance on an account, we are looking for the difference between the amount on these two sides, right? Now, if the debit side is more than the credit side, then the account has a debit balance. And if the credit side is more than the debit side, then the account has a credit balance. So please get that once. Okay. Now there are two main types of balances. So debit balance or credit balance. And I think I've explained that. Sure. Now, how do you balance an account? To balance an account, you have to go through these steps that are outlined here. So we'll take them one after the other. So the first person should read the first step for me, and that will be Professor Austin Akoli. Austin, please read the first step for us.
1. Determine the total of each of the two sides of the account.
Okay. So you determine the total on each of the two sides of the account, right? So it means to balance an account, the first thing you do is to find the total at the debit side and also find the total at the credit side. So please, we want to do it chronologically. Let's find the total at the debit side and also find the total at the credit side. So who is going to do that for me? Bridget will sum up the debit side and Eugenia will sum up the credit side. So please punch your calculator, sum it up, and let's get a total for each side. Bridget, are you ready with the figure for the debit side? Bridget, we are waiting for the figure. Please, can you take it again? Because I didn't hear you. Your microphone is muted, so please unmute. Can my professors hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Prof. Bridget, we are waiting for the sum on the debit side. I don't know if the credit side is ready. Who was Eugenia? You are to do the credit side. If yours is ready, shall we have it?
The total is 7,780.
So the credit side is 7,780.
80.
Okay. Prof. Bridget, the debit side. Is she there? Bridget, are you there?
Sir, please. Yes.
So what is the total at the debit side?
Sir, 18,000. Sir, please. 18,800.
Are you sure?
500 and.
Okay,
Sir, please,
500.
sorry. 18,580.
Okay, thank you. So this is the total for each side. And the first step says this is what you have to do. Get the totals for each side. Write it somewhere. Step 2. Step 2 says use the greater total as the total on both sides. Use the greater total as the total on both sides. Okay, so I think we know the greater total, which is this figure, 18,000. This is the biggest among the totals, right? Okay. Let me read the third point and fourth point, and then it will make sense. The second point will make sense. Determine the difference between the two totals, right? As a matter of fact, I think the second point should come to the fourth point. So yeah, let's note these changes. Okay, so let's take note of the changes there, right? So the second step is to determine the difference between the two totals, right? So we need to find the difference between 18,580 and 7,780. Please, what will the difference be? Prof. Josephine, what will be the difference?
10,800.
10,800. Thank you. Great. So the third point now says insert the difference at the smaller side. So this difference we have determined in step 2, we insert it at the smaller side. Professors, when we compare the two sides, which one is the smallest? Or which one is the smaller? Is that no? Which one is the smallest? Okay, Prof. Portia.
Sir, please, the credit side.
The credit side, right? This side is smaller than the. So the step is that insert that figure at the smaller side. So we'll put the 10,800 here. Okay. That's what the point is saying. And describe it as balance CF or balance CD. So the step is telling us that after putting that difference there, describe it as balance CF or balance CD. As a matter of fact, you can shorten it. Yes, Prof. Porsche, I'll come to you. You can shorten it as balance BALC/D, like this. Or you can make it BAL. The BAL is balance CF. But I would recommend to you that you use the CD, okay, because that is more modern than the CF. But if you use the CF, you are not wrong. But I'm recommending to you that you use the CD, right? Yeah, Portia, please hold on for me. So balance CD, you can write the balance in full or you can write BAL. It's acceptable, right? Now it will be left with the date. So what date are you supposed to use? Okay. Describe it as balance CD or balance CF using the closing date. Using the closing date. So the date we are going to here will be the closing date of the period. So if you check, we're dealing with March. So March will end 31st. So 31st March 2022. That's the date you use for your balance carry down. Okay, Portia, let me hear your question.
Sir, please, what's the meaning of CF?
Okay.
CD means come down, so CF will be.
Please, CD is not come down. CD is carried down. And then
sorry, carried down.
CF is also carried forward. So listen, the understanding is that when you close your account this month, you'll be carrying the balance to the next period. So we are carrying the balance forward or we are carrying the balance down. Okay. So for example, if we were preparing the account in December 2024, then whatever balance is on their account will be carried forward to the next year or will be carried down to the next year. So that's what it means. Carry down for CD and carry forward for CF. Okay, thank you for that question. Now let's move on to the next step. After you have labeled your balance carried down, the next thing is use the greater total as the total on both sides. So you all agree that this is the greater total. Okay, so obviously that's going to be the total on both sides. So 18,580 and then 18,580. Now this total, you need to underline it, right? You need to underline it. So let's do this. Because it's a total, right? So you need to underline your totals. As a matter of fact, like this, something like this. Now the line under the total should be twice, okay? So you underline it twice like this. So this is what I mean. So you see that the bigger total, as a matter of fact, if you add now, you have this because we have inserted the difference on the lesser side, right? So now this account has been balanced. What is left is put the balance CF or balance CD. You remember this balance CF or CD, right? They are saying that put it at the opposite side. So in this account, the balance CD is here. They are saying we should put it at the opposite side beneath. Beneath means under, right? Under the total. So opposite side under this total. and name it balance BF or balance BD, which also means balance brought forward or balance brought down. So we'll put this 10,800 here, call it balance BD or BF. And again, I recommend you use the BD because that is more current. And what date would you use? You will use the opening date of the next period, right? So let me add. Using the opening date of the next period. So if you ended 31st March, what will be the date for the next period? That will be 1st April, right? 1st April 2022. So professors, these are the steps you go through if you want to balance an account. Very simple. First step, get the total for each side, right? Second step, find the difference between the totals. You will insert or put that difference at the lesser side or the smaller side. Call it balance carried down. Use the closing date of that period. After that, you total and insert your total, which always is the greater side amount, and then you bring your carry down to the opposite side under the total and call it balance brought down. Okay, any questions, professors? Okay, no questions. Let's see if we can balance the next one, which is capital, right? So in this account too, we have this and that. So we'll find the total on both sides. This side will be 0, this side will be 18,500, right? So when we find the difference will be 18,500. We put it at the smaller side, and the smaller side is the side that was 0. So we'll put it here 18,500, and we call it balance carry down using the closing date 31st March 2022. Okay, and then we put in our total. But professors, listen carefully. If the item is just 1, there's no need for you to repeat the total again on both sides, right? You can underline the figure twice and you are good to go. Okay, like this. Because if we repeat the total, you see 18,500, 18,500 repeating itself. So you just underline the figure twice. And this happens in an account that has only 1 entry. Okay, so you can do something like this. And then you remember the last point, this carry down, you put it at the opposite side and call it brought down, balance brought down, 18,500. Using the opening date of the next period, 1st April 2022. And that's all. Let me see if we can balance this one, workers account. So again, we get the total for both sides. Here is 1,400, here is 1,400. So this account, there will be the difference is 0. If the difference is 0, it means that this account has no balance. So what we can do is to put in the totals and go away from this account, right? So you underline your total and that's all. So this account will not have any carry down, brought down. And if it happens, please don't feel that you are wrong. Not some accounts don't have balances. In other words, the balances are 0 because the debit side is equal to the credit side. Okay, so it can happen like that. So for that one, you balance with the totals and you are good to go. That's all. So this account, this how it's going to be. There is no carry down, brought down, right? let's do for this one, which is purchases. So here will be 1,850. This side is 0. So the difference will be here, 1,850. We'll call it balance carried down using the closing date, which is 31st March 2022. Here you punch your total, which is 1,850. 1,850. You underline. Yes, and that is it. You bring the carry down to the opposite side under the total and call it brought down. So balance brought down 1,800. You put the opening date first April 2022. So it's very simple to balance off an account, right? Professors, any question?
No.
Okay, so if there are no questions, I think you should be doing some of this balancing on your own, as examples for me. What do you think?
Yes.
So I'm going to put like 4 accounts on the page. Please use the second session to balance it. Take a shot into your private pages. In the third session, we'll look at the trial balance and how you extract the trial balance after you have balanced off your account. Okay. So please, I'll prompt you to submit and end the second session so that we finish up in the third session with the trial balance. Any question on the balancing before we go? Okay. So see you on the page soon. Thank you.